Hi, my name is Mandy Menzer. I'm with Fitwell at UCLA Recreation. And today we're going to teach you 15 stretches that you can do in 15 minutes. First, I want to go over neutral posture. When you're standing tall, you want to make sure to lift through the legs, engage the abdominals and the pelvic floor, and to maintain the natural curve of your back. So you want a little bit of a curve in the lumbar and then a little bit of curve the other way for your upper back. Your shoulders are down, your head and neck are long, and your chest is slightly lifted. We're first going to start with the dynamic head tilt and turn. Rotate your head to the right, hold for 2 seconds, and then rotate to the other side. Continue this motion 10 to 12 times. That was the tilt. Now we're going to turn. So dynamic head turn, holding 2 seconds on each side. Keep your shoulders down. Make sure to engage your abdominals throughout every exercise you do. Next, you're going to do the funky chicken. Are you ready? We're going to bob our head forward and back. This helps us to get more neck mobility and stretch out our head and neck. So we're going to reach forward and then tilt the chin in and reach forward and push back. We want to make sure that the back of our head is rotating up towards the ceiling to create a nice long extended spine. Again, you're tilting forward and pressing back. Tilt forward and press back. Again, holding each way for about 2 seconds. Our second stretch is the dynamic chest expansion. We're going to take our arms up behind our head, opening our elbows and keeping our shoulders down, and we're going to rotate in for 2 and out for 2. In for 2 and out for 2. What we're working on is expanding through the chest, making sure to stretch our pectoral muscles as we reach back, and then contracting and getting the stretch in the upper back on the reverse side. So we're stretching opposite muscle groups by stretching the chest here and the upper back here. Chest lifted and round and come together. Good. All right, great job. Next, we're going to do dynamic round and flyaway. So we're rounding the back forward and then releasing up to the sky, flying like a bird. So we release forward and then back, fly like a bird. So open up really wide when you do the flyaway, and then make sure to contract the abdominals and round the back to do the round away. Continue rounding and flying away, rounding and flying away 10 to 12 times, holding each about 2 seconds each. So you should be feeling a stretch in your upper back and then across the chest and the arms, and even maybe a little bit in the abdominals as you reach up and stretch back a little bit. Don't overarch the back though. Make sure to keep a neutral spine and just come to here versus coming to here. We don't want to do that. So just make sure that you keep your abdominals lifted and engaged throughout the whole stretch. And then again, contracting using your abdominals to round the back and get the stretch in the upper body. Our fourth stretch is the chest stretch on the wall. So you're going to find a wall nearest to you, place your hand back, and then rotate your body in the opposite direction to get a nice long stretch throughout the chest. Keep your chest lifted and your shoulders down, your head and neck long, reaching towards the sky, and just relax and enjoy the stretch. Switch sides when you're done with the right arm, and do the same thing for the left. Make sure that you don't come up here or way down here, but that you're pretty much right in the center where your shoulder is, so that your arm is parallel to the floor. Stretch number 5 is very similar to the stretch we just did, except for you're going to flip your hand on the wall. So we're going to go back over to the wall, and instead of putting your palm of your hand on the wall, you're going to turn your arm down so that your thumb is facing the floor and rotate that shoulder so that you then are concentrating more on the bicep. All right, and then switch to the other side. Make sure to hold these stretches for at least 30 seconds. Our 6th stretch is going to be the tricep. So we're going to reach up nice and tall, bring one elbow back, pull with the other arm, and assist your arm in stretching back so that we can get a nice long stretch right in here. Now make sure that we're not overarching or popping our rib cage. Bring it in, pull the abdominals in, keep the shoulders off of the ears, and make sure to pull back. You can also use a towel for assistance by holding the towel in one hand and then bringing the towel down with the other to help pull your tricep down. Reach up, breathe in, exhale, and switch the stretch to the other side. Hold this for at least 30 seconds. And release. Roll out the shoulders a little bit. Good. And now we're ready for stretch 7, which is the static behind and open. This is for the chest and shoulders. And we're going to clasp our hands behind our back, pushing down a little bit into our shoulders. Again, making sure that we have a micro bend in our knees, that our abdominals are lifted and engaged, keeping our head and neck forward, and just concentrating on this stretch, opening the chest and helping the shoulders to rotate and relax. Great job. Stretch number 8 is the dynamic side reach. We're going to make sure our feet are hip width apart. You can place your right arm on your hip and your left arm reaching towards the sky. And we're going to reach up and over. Good. If you want to bring this arm down, you can, and place it on the outside of your thigh if that's more comfortable. Inhale, relax the shoulder. Inhale, and then reach up, exhale, back down. Good, other side. And reach up, inhale, and exhale, reach to the side, and hold. And exhale, come up. Great job. Stretch number 9 is the back extension. What we want to do is place our hands on our lower back, bring our feet hip width apart, bend slightly, engage those abdominals, shoulders are down, head and neck are lifted, and we're just going to imagine that this part of our head is reaching up and back. So if we're going up over a fence, pushing the hips forward, but you also want to feel like you're going up, not just back. Hold this for 30 seconds and up. And stretch number 10 is the static lunge or the hip flexor stretch. You're going to place one leg in front of the other in a split stance, and your toes need to be facing forward with your hips. And you're going to tilt the hips forward, bringing your heel up in the back. And you're going to feel a stretch right here in the hip flexor. You're going to stay lifted and make sure to keep rotating those hips forward so that you feel that stretch. Just hold for 30 seconds. Again, making sure we're breathing, trying to relax through the shoulders, head and neck, and just enjoying the stretch. Stretch number 11 is the static figure 4. You can do this both standing or on a chair. First, I'm going to demonstrate this stretch standing. Standing nice and tall and lifted, engaging those abdominals. You want to bring one leg up, placing the ankle near the middle of the thigh. Then sitting back and down, you're allowing this leg to stay in a figure 4. And you should feel this on your outer thigh. You want to hold this and maintain balance. So we don't want to hunch over. We want to make sure to stay nice, long and tall and lifted with our shoulders down, our abdominals engaged. Good, and breathing, of course. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Great, and come up and release. The modification for this stretch is to use a chair. This is for anyone who might not be as good with your balance at the moment, and you can work up to standing. But for now, if you want to do it on the chair, you're going to sit down, bring your leg up to figure 4, sit up nice and tall. That's going to give you the best stretch. If you hunch forward and then lean, you're not going to feel it as much. So we want to make sure you stay nice and tall and lifted, and then lean forward, hinging at the hips. If you feel the stretch just sitting right here already, just by putting your leg up like this, that's as far as you need to go. If you feel like you can go further and your flexibility needs to be challenged, then you can, hinge at the hips and lean forward. But you don't necessarily have to lean forward to feel the stretch. So just stop wherever you feel it. Okay, now we're ready for the static one-leg hip hinge. That is a hamstring stretch. So we want to make sure to place one foot out and bend the other leg. So one leg is straight, one leg is bent, and you're going to sit back in a squat, and as your tailbone reaches this way, your head and neck are lengthening in the other direction, and you can reach one arm out and then lean forward. And as soon as you feel that stretch in the back of your leg, that's where you want to stop. We always want to keep our hips back, releasing the tailbone back, head and neck long and lifted. Good. And then you come up, and you might feel that in your quad a little bit because you're working one leg while you're stretching the other. All right, we're on to number 13, the static knee bend. We're going to make sure to stay nice and tall and lifted, standing in both feet. Then we're going to balance onto one leg, bring the leg behind us, and stretch out the quad. We want to maintain our nice posture. Shoulders are down, head and neck are lifted, and we're not arching our lower back. So don't extend like this. Make sure to stay up together, pulling up in the abdominals. And we also want to make sure that this leg stays in the frame of our body. A lot of times we have a tendency to want to go like this. And we want to make sure that it doesn't do that and it stays in the frame of our body. Good. Also, a note for the standing leg, we want to make sure that our knee is slightly bent and never locked out. All right, we're almost there, you guys. 2 more stretches. This is stretch number 14, the static heel press. So we're going to stretch out those calves. Those are these guys right back here. What you want to do is get in that split stance again, keeping the heel down. You're going to then lean and hinge at the hips, and then just rest your forearm on your thigh. You can also rest your hands on your thigh, either way. But you just want to keep that back heel down, because if you lift it, you're now losing the stretch. So it's all about pressing that heel down and leaning forward. Toes are pointed in the same direction as your hips. Good. And again, breathe. And hold it for 30 seconds. You're doing great. And switch. Place that heel back. Bend that front leg. And coming back to start. All right, we're ready for our last stretch, the extended angle. This is a yoga pose, actually, that helps implement a few different stretches all at once. All right, so let's take the right leg out to the side and the other leg at a 45-degree angle. We're gonna bend this leg, opening up the hips, place the forearm on the thigh, and then reach over with the other arm. So you should feel this a little bit in your inner thigh, and then all throughout the side. And inhale, and exhale, come up. Good. You've just completed 15 stretches in 15 minutes. I hope you have a great day. It was great stretching with you, and please join me anytime you want to stretch out 15 stretches in 15 minutes.